think that is the next level.
The placing price on carbon system is ready to launch in Nigeria in furtherance of the United Nations Global Compact and the World Bank Group's drive for carbon emission trade, launched by the World Bank as Carbon Pricing Leadership Coalition in New York in June 2014. Nigeria's carbon exchange trade platform is ready to go live. It is facilitated by SME Funds, the green economy company, host of Nigeria's Carbon Credit Network and a member of the United Nations Global Compact. It will locally support companies to internally place a price and pay off to offset their carbon footprints generated by using fossil fuel energy, as is the current price globally. The offset payments will finance local no-carbon emission projects in line with global emission trading mechanism.
If carbon pricing starts, businesses will shift their demand for energy that is not renewable. At least you will begin to reduce your consumption. You begin to shift your energy systems to renewable. Now it begins to bring down the so-called volumes that we are consuming. Okay? And when that happens, that subsidy payments will come down, assuming government doesn't stop it drastically, which can, you know what it can throw up. But again, it will now bring down the amount of, look at the huge trillions we pay out for what we can't really empirically put a finger up. So that will come down. Now, the trading system also comes with revenue to government, obviously. Okay? I mean, you are going to pay tax if you sell your balance of 4 metric tons of carbon per day because you didn't pollute up the level, to the guy who is overproducing carbon. He has to pay you. Then you pay tax to government. Okay, so government will earn a lot of money. Look at generators, big generators everywhere. Okay, so when they come in to begin to put price, even at this time, this grace period, put voluntary price, it comes down to your business bottom line, which you eventually will pay tax on.
The payment from emissions offset from business, automobile, house or office will be used to adopt any of the listed projects to offset the impact of carbon generated and support alternative energy investments into climate-friendly, carbon-free projects in Nigeria. 70% of all prices paid is also exchanged, as carbon prices purchases remitted to the Green Carbon Fund to support its Clean Up Our Climate campaign.
There is nothing about sustainability that I've heard. There is nothing that talks about climate change. Even when everybody is talking about economic reform, talking about building infrastructure, if we have tsunami, we don't have an environment to live in the wealth that is going to be created, then we are all gone. The entire world, the whole world today is looking into the future, drafting policy, getting engaged in international discourse on how to begin to use technology to begin to drive most of the processes. Look at the success that we've had in the telecommunication. Look at the dawn of the internet. Look at what this has created to jobless, unemployed people. No matter how minor this could be, government have the responsibility to be able to bring forward a policy, a platform that will be able to weigh all these outcomes, bring it together like an aggregator, and make this to work for people. And we can begin to track our successes against those things that have been set.
Many have also said that Nigeria should consider bringing in a carbon tax to help the country recover some of the revenues lost to falling crude oil prices. Crude oil prices have fallen by around 50% for more than a year due to falling demand coupled with healthy supplies. As a result, many have urged Nigeria to curb its dependence on fossil fuel revenues and launch tax reforms as a way of finding other sources of cash.
One big issue now is that we want to focus on energy in Nigeria. It's a major problem. and we're trying to generate electricity, in doing so, we should do it properly so that we are not, adding to the carbon footprint, So I think it comes at a very, very critical time, for us, so that we start looking at the energy systems that we are promoting, so that in developing, we are not destroying, the universe or contributing significantly to destruction. And if we can come up with sustainable ways of developing our energy systems, we win both ways.
Late last year, more than 70 countries and thousands of businesses underlined their commitment to putting a price on CO2, arguing that a clear carbon price would highlight the economic costs of climate change and provide a clear incentive for investment in clean technologies. But it remains to be seen how carbon pricing could be inserted into the prospective climate change deal.
We have to also continue the technical and the policy discussion with practitioners and with the policymakers in a way that we can, in particular with regard to the developing countries, facilitate an accelerated evolution of the financial sector towards a sustainable financial system without having to go through the detour, if you will, of the types of developments we've seen in more established financial markets, which we're spending a lot of time and effort trying to fix now. So particularly for the developing countries, I think we can make a really important contribution in identifying some of the driving influences, if you will, some of the key objectives of developing a sustainable financial system and providing the policy options that can enable that development to happen as directly as possible. But if you were to ask me what I think our most important contribution can be going forward, I would tend to say it is continuing to build the bridge between two different constituencies.
A price on carbon helps shift the burden for the damage back to those who are responsible for it and who can reduce it. Instead of dictating who should reduce emissions, where and how, a carbon price gives an economic signal and polluters decide for themselves whether to discontinue their polluting activity, reduce emissions, or continue polluting and pay for it. In this way, the overall environmental goal is achieved in the most flexible and least cost way to the society. The carbon price also stimulates clean technology and market innovation, fueling new, low-carbon drivers of economic growth. Well, time is running out, and we must all do our part to save this planet. Thank you for being a part of today's program. For any comments or questions, our inbox @file@channelstv.com is always available. I will be back with you next week. So from all of us here in Lagos, it's bye for now.